Hello students, I welcome you all in your computer science class. My name is Kirtika Singh and I'll be teaching computer science in class 5th A, B and C. Let's begin our today's first computer science class. In today's class, we are going to have a brief knowledge of Introduction to Computer and Generations of Computer. In that, we shall be discussing what is a computer, characteristics of a computer, and generations of computer. Before moving ahead, children, let me clear this thing to you that for now you need not to write anything in your copy. At the end of this video, I'll give you some practice question which you will write in your rough copy. And children, write those questions in your copy because your activity will be based on those questions, so it's better to write them in your rough copy. Okay, now let's start. See, since we are learning computer science, right, so we should know what is a computer first. Rest things are secondary. All right, so here I'm going to tell you the definition of a computer. Computer is a programmable electronic device designed to accept data, perform prescribed mathematical and logical operations at high speed. We all use computer, right children? But do we know what is it? How does it work? See, computer is a programmable electronic device. Why programmable? Because we put programming and coding in its processing system, its processing unit. Because of that, it can perform calculations and everything. Okay, and why do we call it electronic device? Because it needs an electricity to operate. So, thus we can say computer is a programmable electronic device which is designed to accept data, perform prescribed mathematical and logical operations at high speed. Now, what do you understand by this line? It is designed to accept data. Like whatever you type through keyboard, it is your input, it accepts that data and then it perform prescribed mathematical like calculations and logical operations at high speeds, like within milliseconds it give you outputs, right? So this is the concise definition of a computer. Computer is a programmable electronic device designed to accept data, perform prescribed mathematical and logical operations at high speed. Okay, now let's move on to the main parts of a computer. Children, I know that you all have come in lab of our school, right? There you all must have seen desktop. So there what did you see? A monitor, a keyboard, a CPU and a mouse. These four main equipments make a computer. Okay, now what does a keyboard do? You are in class 5, you must know about that. Through keyboard, you put your data, you send your data to computer, right? Or we can say to a CPU. And mouse is simply to holding a cursor. Okay, CPU is the main brain, we can say, of a computer, because the whole mathematical and logical operations happen in CPU. And what about monitor? Monitor shows you output. Okay, whatever you are asking to a computer to do, it shows you on a monitor screen. Okay, so these four things: monitor, keyboard, CPU and mouse are the main parts of a computer. Now, next is characteristics of a computer. Children, at most of the places, you will find a computer. Why most of us are using computer? What are the specialties of this? Like everyone, or we can say most of us are using computer. कुछ तो खास है computer में, that is why most of us are using. So these specialties we are going to discuss now. Okay. First characteristic of a computer is speed. Children, we all know that computer does calculations within milliseconds, right? Let's understand it in this way. Like if you want a calculation or multiplication of 4-digit numbers or 5-digit numbers or so on, computer will give you answer of multiplication within milliseconds. While on the other hand, if you want to calculate it manually, like on paper, you will take minimum 2 to 3 minutes, right? So obviously to save time, you will use computer to calculate. And if I'll give you another example, right, if you want to write the same thing again and again on paper, it will take time. While on the other hand, on a computer, you can do it within minutes by simply copying and pasting, right? So thus we can say a computer can perform large number of calculations in a fraction of seconds. And in fact, when we talk about writing, there also we can save the time by simply copying and pasting the same data, right children? Now next is accuracy. This also I'll explain you by the same example. Suppose you want to do a multiplication of four digit numbers, right? And you are doing it on paper. Even after taking 2 to 3 minutes for solving this multiplication, you are having incorrect answer. On the other side, on computer, you got your answers in a fraction of second, and you will never have an incorrect answer, right? Computer will never give you an incorrect answer until and unless you yourself have put incorrect digit or incorrect input. So this is the best part of a computer, right? A computer always gives you correct results if the data given as input to the computer is correct. It produces accurate results, not even approximate children. It will give you accurate, precise results. Okay. Now next one is diligence. Let's understand this term in this way. Like we all study. Okay. But you may have said sometimes like today I have studied 2 hours. So now I'm not gonna study. I'll study tomorrow, right? But a computer will never send you messages like this. Okay, you are providing an electricity to your computer device, that means your computer will work. Okay, it will never get bored, it will never get tired, it will never say now I am bored, now remaining work I'll do tomorrow. Okay, it will never send messages like this. So, a computer does not get tired, it can keep working for long hours and can do the same work again and again with the same accuracy and speed. It happens with us, right? Like we are doing the same thing again and again and again, then we get tired, we get bored, our speed gets slow, right? But it doesn't happen with computer. It always provides you an accurate data. Okay, now next is high storage. Children, for our memory, it is impossible to remember everything, to store in our mind every data, right? But for computer, it is not like that. For computer, it is possible to store each and every information which you are providing to your device, right? Thus we can say The present day computer is capable of storing large amounts of data and programs for future use. This data can be retrieved as and when required. That means if you have stored your data in a computer, you can use it whenever you want. Like, suppose if you have stored a movie in a computer, okay, you have saved a movie in a computer, then you can watch that movie whenever you want until and unless you are deleting that, right? Next is versatility. The modern day computer can perform a variety of different tasks. It is used at various places such as homes, hospitals, banks, offices, and schools for performing various jobs. Okay, we can say like we can use computer at many places for many purposes, and computer can do multitasking as well. Like you can do many things at same time. Now next is faster communication. Of late, this has become the most important advantage of computers. By using computers, we can exchange information through internet all over the globe, and that too within milliseconds. Right children? We all know we can send emails within seconds. Like this way we can communicate with anyone within fraction of second. However, computer being an electronic machine also has some limitations, and they are as follows. 0 IQ. A computer does not have any IQ, and IQ stands for intelligence quotient of its own. A computer does not have any IQ of its own. It works only within the limits of what it has been instructed to do. In simple language, if I say that computer does not have its own brain, it will do whatever you will ask it to do. Whatever commands you will put, it will follows that only. Okay, that is why we say that computer has 0 IQ. Now next is lack of decision making power. A computer is not capable of taking any decision on its own. When an unexpected situation arises, it gives incorrect results or abandons the job altogether. Since computer has 0 IQ, that is why it can't take decision on its own. And if some situation occurs where it needs to take a decision, it can't. That time it simply gives incorrect output. Last one is no heuristics. Heuristics is the ability to learn from the past mistakes. The computer do not possess any such ability. Yes, children, this is the good thing in human that we learn from our mistakes, but computer doesn't. Right? It will do the same mistake again and again and again. It will never correct it. Okay, so this is the limitation that computer doesn't heuristics. Okay, so these were some characteristics of a computer along with its limitation. All right, here comes the last topic of our today's class: generations of computer. The development of present-day computer can be studied in reference to the different generations of computing devices. In each generation, technological improvements changed the way computers operated. The computers became smaller, cheaper, more powerful, and more efficient and reliable with each generation. Yes, children, the laptops, the desktops, the palm tops which you are seeing nowadays, they were not like this always. Okay, they were different, like computer was different earlier. We can differentiate these computers according on the basis of generation. In each generation, they have used a different technology. Okay, let's start with first generation or vacuum tubes computer. Now, why do we call it vacuum tubes computer? Because in this generation, they used vacuum tubes to perform logical and mathematical operations. What is the task of a computer? To perform logical and mathematical operations, right? So, for performing this task, people used to have vacuum tubes. And the image you can see on screen, it is first generation computer. And these are the vacuum tubes which I was talking about. But children, it had a lot of limitations, like they occupied a lot of space because they were so big and they were expensive to operate. They used a lot of electricity and generated a large amount of heat. The speed of these computers was very low. That is why it didn't last for long. It just came in use 1940 to 1956. Here are few examples of first generation computer: ENIAC, EDVAC, UNIVAC 1 and Mark 1. These are the names of first generation computer. After that, second generation computer came, which lasted from 1956 to 1963. In second generation computer, they used transistors instead of vacuum tubes to speed up the calculation of computers and to compact the size of computer. And its features were like they were smaller and faster compared to the first generation computers. They were cheaper to maintain compared to the first generation computers. Here are few examples of second generation computer, which are UNIVAC 3rd, IBM 1401, IBM 700, ANSIA 300 series. After that, third generation computer came into life, which lasted from 1964 to 1971. Obviously, this third generation computer was better from first and second generation computers. In this, they had used integrated circuit technology. So, instead of transistor and vacuum tubes. Because of that, the size of computer reduced and the performance of computer increased. Okay, what did they use as technology? Integrated circuits. What is integrated circuit, children? Do you know that? An IC, also called a chip, could contain thousands of transistors. Like they are using the transistors. But what did they do in third generation? They used all together in a on a small chip. Like in second generation, they were using it separately, all the transistors, but in third generations they put all the transistors on ICs, on integrated circuits, right? So this technology they used in third generation. Because of that, they were faster and efficient than second generation computers. The users communicated with the computers using keyboard and monitors. Yes, in third generation we had keyboards and monitors as well. And they used operating system allowing many different applications to run at one time. Like third generation computers can do multitasking. Here are few examples of third generation computer: IBM 360, ICL 1900, UNIVAC 1108, UNIVAC AC 9000. Next comes fourth generation computer, which we all use, right? We all do use fourth generation computer. It started from 1972 and still running. In this, they have used VLSI and ULSI techniques based microprocessors. Children, let me tell you this thing first. What is microprocessors? Microprocessors were or are developed by combining together thousands of ICs, thousands of integrated circuits onto a silicon chip using VLSI and ULSI. And here by VLSI, I mean very large scale integration and ultra large scale integration. So in first generation they were using vacuum tubes, fine. In second generation they were using transistor instead of vacuum tubes, okay. In third generation, what did they do? They simply started collecting onto a single stuff, like they put all the transistors on ICs on integrated circuits. Now in fourth generation they are putting all those ICs onto a silicon chip, and that silicon chip is called microprocessor. Okay, so in fourth generation, they are collecting those ICs onto a silicon chip, and it is called microprocessors. And I think we all are aware about the features of fourth generation computer. They are smaller, energy efficient, and more reliable than the earlier generation of computers. And storage capacity of fourth generation computer is very large. They are extremely powerful and can process millions of instructions in a fraction of a second. The present day computers can be linked together to form computer networks. This led the development of worldwide network called the internet. Now here are few examples of fourth generation computer. Desktop computers, Apple Macintosh and IBM PC. Last is fifth generation computer. Scientists are working on it, they are researching on it. That is why we can say it is for future purpose. And they are using in this artificial intelligence technology. Children, do you know what is artificial intelligence technology? It is the branch of computer science that deals with making the computers think and take decisions like human beings. That means by using artificial intelligence technology, in this generation, computers will be able to think. Computers will be able to take its own decision. Like we had discussed that computer has zero IQ. Now, if we talk about fourth generation, right? That is why it can't make its own decisions. But if they will succeed, then in fifth generation computers can take their own decisions like human beings. But the thing is, these computers are still in development stage. The fifth generation computers will have the power of human intelligence and reasoning, we can say. And the advantage of these generation of computers will be that they will be able to understand natural language, spoken words. Because in fourth generation computer, they didn't understand our language, right? They understand high level language. But in fifth generation, they will understand natural language, which we people speak. Okay, and they will be able to respond to their surroundings using different types of sensors. So these were some features of fifth generation computer. Example of fifth generation computer is robotics. Yes, children, this was all about introduction to computer and generations of computer. Now I am providing you a copy work which you need not to write in fair copy. Write all these notes, all these practice questions in your rough copy, and kindly write it, because on the basis of these questions your activity paper will be prepared. So it's better that you write all these practice questions in your rough copy. And here I am finishing our today's class. Children, if you have any kind of doubt regarding computer science today's class, you can ask on Saturday in doubt class. Thank you.